But we can do it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we do not, as you can see, have a quorum, and so we will be adjourning the meeting. However, we will then continue in informal and we will take citizens and anything that anybody would like to say, and then continue on with discussion items. We just can't act on any, we can't make any motions. So, is there a motion for adjournment?
You can't motion.
What?
You can't motion.
You can for adjournment.
Okay.
Yeah, so the meeting's adjourned. And now, are there any citizens wishing to address the board? So at this point, the meeting, I see some confused looks still.
Yeah.
So at this point, the meeting is considered an informal meeting, and we will still have discussion. We just cannot act on anything. So there will be no motions made in this meeting. Carol Miller.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I'm not here today to speak of the memorandum, the licensure, or the questioning of children on protection devices in their home when they are at the health clinics. What I'm here to speak about is decorum, kindness, and the law. At the August 20th Health Advisory Board meeting, around 1 hour, 48 minutes, and some odd seconds, I observed Mr. Watkins take Ms. Mueller's legal pad and write on it. A few minutes later, at 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 27 seconds, Ms. Mueller wrote on that pad, nudged Mr. Watkins, and gestured for him to read it, which he did. After the meeting, Ms. Mueller showed me what she had written. It said, "Time may run out," with 3 exclamation points. A comment directly related to the motion and discussion on time allotment in the meeting. You did not allow anyone to see the note written by Mr. Watkins. Under the Michigan Opens Meeting Act, MCL 15.263, subsection 2, all decisions of a public body must be made openly. A decision is defined in MCL 15.262, section D, includes not only the final vote, but also deliberations leading to it. When members communicate by secret notes during deliberation, the public cannot see or hear that exchange. The Attorney General opinion numbered 5262 is clear. Secret deliberations or ballots violate the OMA because they prevent citizens from observing how decisions are made. Passing notes on matters under discussion has the same effect. The OMA also carries penalties under MCL 15.272. An intentional violation can result in a fine of up to $1,000 in the first offense and $2,000 for any later offenses. MCL 15.273 makes intentional violations a misdemeanor under the law, which is punishable by a $1,000 fine and up to 90 days in jail. In addition, under the Freedom of Information Act, MCL 15.232, subsection I, the notepad itself, because it was used to communicate between members on official business during the meeting, qualifies as a public record and is subject to the Freedom of Information Act, which I will be doing after this meeting. I am not here to question motives, but I will say this: even well-intended notes exchanged in this way erodes a public trust of the people. The people expect full transparency. For a board that is still rebuilding credibility after the COVID crisis, protecting that trust is vital. The OMA rules should be known by both of you, especially with Ms. Mueller being on the board for 27 years. I respectfully urge the chair.
Time is up.
Thank
you.
Please step down.
Dr. Gaholi, slaughtering your name again. Gaholi? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Thank you. All right, anybody else? Yes. Thank you.
Hey, good morning. I'm glad that the Open Meetings Act was referenced. And I want to know where the rest of the board is, or the advisory board. So it's not a good look. And right now, I'm feeling livid. We are losing children. Every day, I'm reading about another child the needs in our community are great. Folks in this room have allowed clinics to be closed at a time when children need the access. For board members not to show up, it's just infuriating. So I do not have a prepared statement, but as a citizen, I hold this board to more accountability than that. And talk about transparency, I don't see it. And I certainly don't see the Open Meetings Act being fulfilled. Last thing, with respect to, my friend here, anyway, I'm going to say, I'm really tired of these character assassinations. In my opinion, assassination is the wrong word to use today. I apologize. Character references is what I'm going to say. And I see, and it really concerns me, an escalation in what I perceive to be targeting people that may have a different point of view. And I don't like it. Everybody has a right to free speech, and I appreciate that and respect that, as I respect the people that have made comments. But I think in terms of decorum, let's look at that. Are we here to really go after somebody's character? I'm not. We have public health issues. We have children, we have teenagers that you guys are taking services away from. I'm not happy.
Thank you. Is there anybody else that wanted to speak? Trey?
Good morning. I have just literally really one question. I was kind of motivated by the speech that was given here. I would love to ask Ms. Liz King if she could tell us how many citizens throughout the, say, last 2 months that came up here to present their issues for the issues of fluoride and issues with our medical director, how many came up and offered themselves in service and different opportunities so they could partner with the health department and figure out what are the needs so that we as the citizens that actually live here, that actually partake in these opportunities and these issues and actually wanted to help and present solutions instead of just complaints and telling our government this is what we need done and what we need to do. I would love to ask our precious health officer, how many have actually put together initiatives, have asked, can we partner and find funding? Why? And I'm asking this question because I think this is a great place to vent, to share our hearts and our thoughts and our desires, but it's a great opportunity where you don't have to go through 3 receptionists, get 6 days to wait for a meeting, and you can actually meet with somebody and talk to them about something you want to actually put in place and own on ourselves. Because the reality is, our community will only grow when we as citizens take the responsibilities of the things that we need. So I would love to hear from our precious health officer how many people have actually stepped up and been willing to do something meaningful. And secondly, also encourage our precious health officer and maybe medical director if they could post the needs that citizens should step up to and maybe say, hey, these are the things that we would need somebody to take on, to actually be a part of, put it out there on Facebook, you know, the black dark net, the place where everything happens, the water cooler of our world, and see if people are willing to actually do more than complain and do more than look at one group of people and say, hey, if we have an opportunity, if we get the right training, if we can follow the law and we can put something together, maybe we can actually fix the issues that we see. Because this argument around fluoride is, I'm really on neither side, but I think that personal responsibility should be considered, because I doubt people just drink water 24 hours a day. I think there are some Three Musketeer bars, Snicker bars that should be accounted for, some Coca-Colas that we do, and also some other things that we probably do along with the water that we consume. And I think we need just more people to give more information and present opportunities, because we know that doctors don't always know everything, but they do know a lot. But with the support of the community, I know we can actually get to some issues and get some of these things fixed and resolved. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if there's no other citizens wishing to address the board, let's move on to fluoride. Or do you have any correspondence? I'm sorry, Liz, do you have correspondence?
Yeah, there is correspondence
Just the ones that are in the packet?
that are in your
Okay.
packet. I'm not sure of the depth to go into today. Due
No.
to
No.
The members, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those that are there, but it does include the fluoride, an FAQ that was asked to be put together. I think we went through 12 different versions back and forth. Dr. Nevin has, I believe, signed off on approval of that at this point, so we wanted to share it with you.
Point of order, Madam Chair. This constitutes deliberations, which are not permitted absent a quorum. I would propose we defer further discussion until we have a quorum.
I don't believe this is a deliberation at all. This is conversation.
The terms are synonymous.
if you want my opinion on this, because I've been at this for a little bit, township supervisor, now, of course, going on 15 years as county commissioner. Once you do not have a quorum, you better be very limited in what you talk about.
Correct.
And if you go and talk a lot about fluoride or whatever's potentially on here, the minutes, the new business, if you have almost any minimal discussion, you're going to be in violation of the Open Meetings Act. I've been at this a while, and what was brought up before, when I was township supervisor, I made notes, and I got FOIA'd for those notes. So if you watch when I'm a county commissioner up here, except for when the residents are talking, and I copy them like I did with Mrs. Tucker, and so I had a comment to make on that. But I do not make notes. I keep it to memory, and then I'll respond to whoever's talking and at the meeting, because I know if I make any notes in regards to any business at all, that's FOIAble.
Absolutely.
Let me mention, Madam Chairman, in regards to the notes, I mean, that, you have a book here, you have this here, that's true, you can FOIA this, but it's not out of line to put bullet points, oh, this person said this, because, for example, when the public come up and make comments, especially with things, not using the word assassination, but directing at individuals, we can't have open conversation with those who from the podium. When the individuals here on the help, we do our roundtable, and we can respond and have our 10 minutes. I can respond to each one of those points if they're relevant. So to make bullet points, I need to respond to this, respond to this, respond to that, is very appropriate. To expect a person to have that kind of power memory is unrealistic. So I hear what you're saying.
Your opinion.
Let me finish,
That's
sir,
very-
please. Well,
that's
I
illegal.
I was quiet during your speech, but you interrupted me. I think that's totally inappropriate. A point again, I would continue, is that's okay, you can FOIA that, but I still, to deter me from doing that is, or other board members are doing that is, I think is out of line, because we can do that. I understand to keep it FOIA, but I'm making bullet points of what I need to address through this meeting, and that's appropriate.
I think he was just saying that that is FOIAble, and I think you
Well, I understand
understand that, and that's fine.
Yeah, you can't have discussions on
No.
anything, because the rest of the board, you do not have a quorum, so you cannot have a discussion on almost anything. If you have a discussion, then what you're doing in violation, because indirectly, you're having deliberations without a full board up here. I've been at this a while, so,
I understand.
okay, thank you.
We respect that.
Medical director update.
Again, a point of order, Madam Chair. We can't engage in deliberations. I'll defer my update until we have.
Okay. Health officer update.
I suppose I should defer as well.
Okay.
Madam Chair. So, with this approach, I had many questions in regards to the administrative meeting on September 3rd. So any questions addressing?
So we can't address that.
Can't address that either. Is there anything we can do on this agenda?
So, Madam
defer
Chair,
that.
by Robert's rules, we can accept limited number. Now,
I
we've adjourned the
understand.
meeting, but had the meeting not been adjourned, we could accept a motion to recess the meeting if obtaining a quorum were feasible, or we can entertain a motion to adjourn. And since we've already entertained and accepted a motion to adjourn, I would say our agenda is through.
Well,
We can have items from members.
absolutely. I would refer to you, Marie, maybe. You may want to comment or so on the tax, I don't know.
Mostly because of the lack of our board being present. I don't think it's appropriate to say things when they're not here. And I learned a few things today that I haven't ever heard in all the boards I've worked on. And that surprises me, that there are those kind of rules. Every person on this board does make bullet notes all the time, not being specific to any person, but to the thought and what is being discussed. And I think that's important to us. Not that we're going to totally forget it, but to bring it back to us when we're not present here, that we look into these things because they're of concern to the public. And I will express that I was really, really surprised by what I thought was, I'll say, legal, to write something down. We were not in discussion as I understand discussion. The chairman was reading letters from people. We looked at the clock. Mr. Watkins took my notepad and wrote, "We're running out of time," which was absolutely true. And I don't want to address that issue today, as I said, because of the lack of all of the members being here. But as you mentioned, I have been on this board. I've been on many boards, and that's never been an issue before. Every single person here, I believe, I'm not too sure about Dr. Nevin, but other people do write things down. And I'm, like I said, surprised that that's not allowed.
It is allowed. It's just foilable. So it's allowed. You can write notes, but any notes that, any notes that you write are foilable. That's all.
And I did show it to the person who addressed me after the meeting. It was new, it's exactly what it said. I didn't bring it with me. I will at the next month. It said, "We're running out of time." And that was, in the first place, something that's never happened in my 27 years. Anyone who has had I'll say, a personal thing to attend to gets up and excuses themselves, not shuts down a meeting. I know it's happened in other commissions and stuff. I've been present at them. But, like I said, I've learned something today. We always can learn. And I honestly didn't see it as an issue, because it was an absolute truth, and it wasn't my place to say we're running out of time. It was just a thought between two board members.
Thank you.
Yes. We're trying to be careful with words today, but I will use their word. We have assassins amongst us. Thank God they're not spewing bullets, they're spewing venom. What does that have to do with what's on our agenda? A person's background 30 years ago, that they misconstrue, make it seem like it's more than it is. A person putting their name running off your lips on a regular basis instead of things that we talk about on the agenda. Purpose, what are you trying to accomplish? What is that person trying to accomplish? Do they care about what we're doing here with the health board? Or is just the fact they have an agenda, we want that person to resign, we want that person, the commissioners to remove that person from the board, we're gonna make sure we set it up that person's not reappointed. Is that the agenda? You know, so think about that. Now, we some very intelligent people in this room. Some people without a credentials behind their name, some with none, but very intelligent. And a blind man, a deaf man, any man or woman can see, looking up here, what's going on. We can prove these 4 board members didn't show up on purpose. Don Falk, Stephen Smith, Leanne Klink, Carolyn Richards, who made a commitment to this county, regardless of their job description, in regards to what they do in their personal life. We all have jobs. We have work. You knew when you made this appointment, you went to the commissioner's office, they gave you what the expectations are, and you signed, agreed. and probably have worked on the board for over a year or more, maybe just a month or two, but you knew what the expectations were. And then when you become on the board, you would have changed the game. You would have changed the rules. But there's something called evidence beyond a reasonable doubt, and then something preponderance of the evidence. The preponderance of the evidence that these board members didn't show up planned this. It's a health board flu, I guess. They planned not to show up so no business can get done. Others amongst us could have been a part of that also, and I'm pretty sure, but this was obviously planned. So these are people, and I'm glad we have a commissioner here, that can pass this on to his other commissioners. Are these the people that we want serving, that you want to appoint to the Board of Health? Mr. Rushing, please don't interrupt me.
I'll speak as soon as you're finished. I didn't say a word.
Okay, but thank you. I just want to get through this. It's very troubling. So when you reach out, maybe you want to reach out to your commissioners, and say, I think you need to think about this when it's time for reappointment for those individuals. Or maybe removal of those individuals. They have no plan to do the people's work. So if they can do this today, they can do it any day. This is terrible precedence. It's the first time in the history of this board, of this health board that I know of, that this has happened. This should not be tolerated. So those same people who are assassinating people on character, let me hear you, next meeting, assassinate those who didn't show up, who purposely didn't show up, so we couldn't get important business done. Like what Ms. Blackburn stated, we have kids that are in need. We're shutting down clinics. We're in a disarray. We're getting ready to lose grant money. And these board members purposely, amongst each other, let's not show up so we can shut the business down. How sad is that? Please remember that. And speak on that when you have a chance. Because now we have to wait another month to get our business done. What if they decide to do this again next month and a month after that? That means nothing's getting done. Would you want your commissioners to do that? Think about that. That's what we're dealing with here. I have some very important things I want to address today. We have, I can't mention it because it would need discussion, but this is a major problem. And quickly, I don't have to prove things anywhere. I was brought on this board. The board did, the county did the appropriate checks. I've had background checks. I'm a nurse, professor at the college. I've been a nurse over 40 years. I don't just have a resume, I have a dossier of things I've done. You actually think I'd be working at the hospital, I'd be working at the college if I was a criminal. Do I have a criminal record? When you get up there and spewing venom, you give impressions that I do. Shame on you. I was sitting, noticed a letter out talking to people about, like what Mr. Pastor Trey stated. Don't just come up with problems, bring some solutions. Give us some ideas where we can move forward. We have health clinics closing. Where are those kids gonna go? And now there's rumors in the air, we're gonna close the Port Huron Health Clinic. Where are they going? We need to be concerned about the public health. What's important, our industrial, what's going on as far as PFAS and those things that are important to address, that's public safety. But what about the public health part? Mental health, we need to deal with that. But please remember, look at what you have up here. These are the committed health board members. There's 4 who are not committed. I would like to hear your comment, Mr. Rushing.
Everything you just said is very inappropriate. You should not have said a word about anything without them being here. You could have saved that for last meeting. And that's in violation of the Open Meetings Act.
But then file a complaint.
So I don't want to file a complaint. Your own reputation speaking for itself.
And I spoke about my dossier, and I have a great reputation. You just have a problem with me.
Okay,
And I have a
this
problem
is
with
not
you.
productive.
No, it isn't.
That was inappropriate what you just stated.
Thank you.
Why are you here? It should be,
I think at this time, I will apologize to those of you that are here, that we were not able to have a full meeting, and we will adjourn at this time.
Monica, is any of this privileged information I get to take with folder with me? The information for the meeting?
Yeah.
Can I take this with me?
Yes.
Do we take financials?
They're in there. Financials are in there.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's fine, yep.
We might have a meeting next month, I don't know.